It's the National Football League on EA Sports, where we'll see who's better, Houston's former team or its current one. It's the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans, and it's kicking off next on Madden NFL 25.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Music City. Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, and Nissan Stadium on the shores of the Cumberland River. So good to have you with us, Mike Tirico, Greg Olson up here in the booth. And Greg, this is one of those games that is a little old school. Maybe if it was in black and white, it would be fitting, right? We had a couple of teams who have to hand it off and see their running backs do it on the ground.
It's just so cool, and you mentioned it, Mike. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, this would have been the norm on any given weekend, but we're seeing the game trend to more of a passing-style offense. If you want to score points, it mostly comes through the air. So for these two kind of throwback offenses that rely so heavily on their running backs, for anybody that loves old-school power football, I think we're in for a treat.
About ready to get this one started. Amy Fairbairn ready to kick it off. And off we go from Nashville. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Tennessee offense taking the field for the first time. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the veteran from Oklahoma State. It's Mason Rudolph.
The thing that has always really stood out and impressed me the most about this guy, Mike, is how steady and reliable he is anytime he's called upon. You know exactly what you're getting anytime he's under center. Maybe not the biggest arm in the world, but I'll tell you what, he gives you just enough to work with, and he is capable of getting the job done.
Rudolph gonna throw right away. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be second down.
He decides to go with the safe throw and throws it well short of the sticks. And at this level, Mike, you just can't miss layups like that.
Now Rudolph. He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
You can't fault the quarterback on this one, Mike. He really didn't even have much of an opportunity. By the time he hit the top of his drop and got his eyes downfield, the defense was all over him, and he really had no choice but to just get that ball out of his hand and live to play another snap.
The tight end, Okonkwo, is in motion. And this drive is over before it can start. He's swallowed up to force fourth down.
Outside of a turnover, this was probably the worst-case scenario. Immediate pressure in his face with nowhere to go with the ball downfield. Just get the ball out of your hand. Live to play another down. Instead, he retreats backwards and leads to a massive loss.
So on fourth down, the Titans turn it over to Ryan Stonehouse to punt. Robert Woods back to return for the Texans. That'll be returnable from the 35. And he'll get forward a few yards on the return. And that's where the offense will take over. The Houston offense heading out to the field for the first time. They're led by the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2023. From Ohio State, it's C.J. Stroud.
You could certainly make the case, Mike, that he had one of the best rookie seasons by a quarterback in NFL history. Not so much just his personal play, but he has completely rejuvenated that Houston Texans locker room and that Houston Texans organization. It was incredible watching him as a rookie. Tell you what, though, I think he's even more capable here in his second year under center.
And no chance to turn and go. That one good for just a couple. Throwing on second down. Stroud That's caught. It's Joe Mixon. Strong. And he'll be taken down.
Well, they've come out swinging here on this opening drive through the air, and that's exactly what they wanted to do. Generate some early chunk plays and try to get some points.
This opening drive going to form so far. Now they've got it first and goal. To throw is Stroud. And he will fight his way to the end zone. C.J. Stroud. Touchdown, Texans. Initially looking to throw it for the touchdown, couldn't find anything, so Greggy takes care of business himself, using his legs for the touchdown.
Well, it was clear early on, Mike, that this defense was expecting the pass, and after matching all the receivers in the end zone, this quarterback realized quickly it was his legs that he was going to need to rely on to get the ball across the goal line.
Now Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Texans will take a 7-0 lead. And so after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn to kick it off. On the return, here's Tyjae Spears. And this will work out quite well. He'll get it all the way out to the 30-yard line. The Titans offense ready now for their second drive. They were forced to punt the first time through. It led to a touchdown, so down 7-0 as they get the ball back for 1st and 10. So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Back to throw is Rudolph. The pressure gets there, and down he goes. A sack.
As this offense continues to try to find its way out of this hole, things are going to just continue to get more difficult if they can't protect the passer. The longer you trail, the more the defense knows you need to throw the ball, and they're going to have to protect their quarterback a lot better than they did there.
Here's Rudolph. That one complete. It's Tyler Boyd. And they'll get about 8 out of that one, but still a little work to do now on 3rd down.
You can just see the frustration of the defender. Did you see him get off the quarterback? He's like, man, hold that ball for 1 tick longer, man. I'm there to record the sack. Nice job by the quarterback having that timing and rhythm to get that ball out of his hand. But you can imagine, he got close this time. That defender, he's going to keep coming.
And this drive is over before it can start. He's swallowed up to force 4th down.
We're starting to see in these passing situations, Mike, this defensive line is starting to have their way against this group up front, because right now their pass protection is breaking down and his quarterback's paying the price for it.
Here's Ryan Stonehouse now, as he'll hit this from just outside of his own goal line. Fair catch is called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. Texans offense and running back Joe Mixon heading out onto the field. And he's been a big component of the passing game so far. You see the numbers here in the first half. This defense is going to need to find a way to key in on him because he's eating them up right now. On 1st and 10, here's Stroud. That's caught right side, the tight end, Schultz. And good yardage there after the catch. They'll wind up with a gain of 7 on 1st down. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. The training staff going to look, and will step out for a moment. Here's 2nd and 3 to go. Stroud to throw. Now a deep ball here for Collins. And he will go all the way. Nico Collins. Touchdown, Houston. A beautiful combination in the air there. The pass downfield and bringing it the rest of the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And it's really just a great route, Mike, and then a beautiful throw. The accuracy of the throw is what allowed the receiver not only to secure the catch, but then be able to turn it up and finish the play and find himself in the end zone.
Fairbairn to add the extra point. He knocks it through. And the Texans move out on top, 14-0. And so after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn to kick it off. Spears now to return it. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. Following the kickoff, we have an injured player on the field. So as they look at the injured player, we'll take a timeout. They'll come up here, 1st and 10. They'll run it with Tony Pollard. Not much to speak of on that one. Maybe a gain of a yard. It's 2nd down. To throw is Rudolph. Now a screen. Here's Pollard.
Just a little slow developing on that screenplay there. It was pretty obvious to the entire defense exactly what was going on. Nobody was thinking pass. Nobody was getting back into their drops, and just nowhere for that back to go.
What can they do here on 3rd down and 7? Rudolph. That's caught. It's Westbrook-Akine. Number 15 gets 15 yards out of that one, and he's got his team a 1st down.
It's so early in the game, you have to be careful now as coaches and players that you don't find yourself trailing early and get out of your game plan. There is so much time left. Stick to what you've worked on all week. There's plenty of time to chip away and see if you can make this thing close come the 4th quarter.
Throwing, Rudolph. To the left side in the hands of Gore. And they're going to work this down inside the 45.
Really nice job there to move the chains early in this drive, but now as they approach midfield, continue to keep your foot on the gas. Don't get conservative. Don't start sitting on the ball. Cross midfield and go. Anytime you find yourself on your opponent's side of the field, you have to be thinking points.
Rudolph looking to throw. He's going to get it to Okonkwo. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play in this opening quarter. So after one, 14-0 is our score. We're back in Music City after this. Here's 2nd and 2. Now the former Tulane star. Here's Tyjae Spears. And he'll work his way for about 4 yards. That's good enough for a first down.
This is a situation that play callers love to be in, Mike. They have all their options on the table. 2nd and short, play action pass, you can run. In this case, they choose to keep it on the ground, play it safe, pick up the first down.
The motion man is Boyd. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Potentially very big call here. You only get a 1-yard buffer from the line of scrimmage for these old linemen. That time he strayed a little too far, and it draws the flag. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go. He is taken down. Daniil Hunter, pass rusher extraordinaire, in action again.
This is the epitome of team defense. Not only are you able to rush the passer and put relentless pressure on him play after play, but the coverage on the back end is so tight. There's just nowhere for the quarterback to go with the ball. You see him just continue to hold the ball that extra second in the pocket, and with the way these guys are pass rushing, that's all the time they need.
Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. On play action, he'll set up to throw. And this offensive line just has no answers right now. It's another sack.
If they win this game, this pass rush is going to be a big reason why. The 5 sacks speak for itself, but their ability to disrupt the timing of this offense, that can't be overstated.
So backed up after the sack, and now it's 3rd and long. They send Ridley in motion. They'll throw now, 3rd and forever.
A gain of 7. It's 4th down.
Here's their punter now, as he's on to punt for Tennessee. And we will not have a return here. This one angled out of bounds. There's Nico Collins and his Texans teammates getting set for their next possession. Their lead sits at 14-0 here in this 2nd quarter, looking to run away with this one before halftime. They'll break the huddle, coming up now for 1st and 10. Stroud gonna tuck this one on the zone read. And no place to go, no place to hide. He's taken down behind the line.
Well, there hasn't been a whole lot for this crowd to be excited about on either side of the ball, but at least now the defense is trying to be that spark. Nice tackle for loss there. Can they do something to build upon to try to get this team going?
A 2nd down throw for Stroud. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. Tank Dell was the one he was looking for. And it's going to be 3rd down. From the gun, here's Stroud. side. It's complete. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield.
So far here early, Mike, the key for this offense has been their ability to maintain possession by converting on these third downs. It's going to be a big storyline the rest of the way. This defense has to find a way. When they force third down, they got to get off the field.
Stroud to throw here on 1st and 10. And that one knocked away. It's incomplete.
He just rushed that decision just a little bit downfield. I mean, it's one thing to trust your guy to make him play in tight coverage, but I think if he was a little bit more patient in his progression, there was an easier throw out there that wouldn't make him have to throw such a tight window ball and put his receiver in a tight spot.
That's complete to Stephon Diggs. And he'll be taken down as we tick down to the 2-minute warning. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down. 2 minutes to go here till halftime. We're back to Nashville in a moment. 1st and 10 now from the 36. From the shotgun, C.J. Stroud. And he'll be taken down. They got him back at the 50-yard line.
If you're going to take a sack, you just can't add to it by taking such a massive loss on top of it. Understand when the pocket breaks down, move up, cut your losses. Now, not only do you lose that down, but now you face a big uphill battle if you want to extend this drive.
On 2nd down, Stroud. To the left side, into the hands of Collins. That will make 3rd down a little more manageable. Good yardage gained on that one.
As a route runner, once you identify zone coverage like they were playing here, the key is find open space and stay in it. He did a nice job here because that was not a big hole. Quarterback had to put a little extra on that one, and they were able to make the completion.
This is caught. He got the connection to Collins. And they are in great shape. He's taken down inside the 10.
If you want to score points at a high level in the NFL, you have to generate explosive plays. And after that big chunk pass play, they find themselves now down there in the red zone. And this is where you have to finish drives.
The Texans going to go ahead and use their first timeout here as the clock stops with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Halftime is looming, but a chance to build on that already sizable lead right here. 1st and goal. He'll be hit as he throws, and that one will wind up incomplete. Could not step into the throw that time. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Here in the first half, we've seen nothing but connections from these two guys. I mean, they've come out completely on fire, so the defense finally gets a stop, and really the first time we've seen these guys be a little bit off.
That'll be taken in by Mixon. And he can't get away. They rally to the football on defense and bring him down for no gain.
It's a great example of just the range that this linebacker has to be able to not only react quick enough to realize that running back was a threat to the flat, but to be able to have the speed to get there and bring him down for no gain.
He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
Here's the quarterback doing everything in his power to extend this play, and none of his guys could get open. You got to see someone separate, work with your quarterback, go into scramble second reaction mode, and it's also give some credit to the back end doing a nice job plastering with their assignment and He had no choice but to throw it away.
Fairbairn's kick is good. And the Texans stake themselves to a 17-0 lead.
And that's a really nice boost here before the break. I mean, you work the clock well, you're able to steal some points. The biggest thing is you're able to build a little momentum now going into the locker room at halftime.
Halftime, coming close, and not much time left as this one is kicked away. From a couple of yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. That's where the offense will take over.
At their own 24-yard line.
Three tight ends in the game to start the drive. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. He'll get this ahead for about 3. It is Azeez Al-Shire with the stop. So at halftime, it's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando now, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Mike, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our halftime report. This was an extremely one-sided first half. One team showed up, ready to go. The other's been in a daze thus far, but there's still plenty of time left for this one to tighten up significantly.
Coach, thank you. Back here on EA Sports as we count down to the kickoff of the second half. Very one-sided first half of action. Will we get a turnaround? Let's find out. The third quarter is underway. And he is stopped at the 25. The drive will begin there. C.J. Stroud and the Houston offense set to get going again. And he's had it going in the first half. Really had his way with the secondary. They have been powerless to stop him. Now, we'll try to keep it going. From the 25, they'll go to work. 1st and 10. On play action. Stroud. Off he goes. And he's able to gain yardage out of this one before he slides.
Well, give him some credit. Initially, that looked like it was going to be a sack. He's able to escape the pressure and get away, picks up a little bit of yardage, but at least he avoids taking that shot.
Here's 2nd and 6. Now here's a keeper on the zone read. And they bring him down, but not until he gets the 45-yard line.
Man, when it works well, the zone read is a thing of beauty. It just adds another dimension to this offense, and if the defense doesn't get a better plan, they're going to continue to do it all day.
Set to go now on 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Stroud. And the rush too strong. They're in there in a flash for the sack. It is Harold Landry working his way in for the sack.
And now we're seeing the game kind of go back and forth. Each team trading blows, trying to establish control over the other. Nice chunk play on the previous play. The defense responds back with a sack, and we're going to see which team can establish a little bit more of this control as the game unfolds.
Throwing on 2nd down. Stroud. That one caught by Tank Dell. Well, they'll get some of the sack yardage back, but it's still going to leave them with 3rd down.
Well, it goes without saying. You want to play wide receiver in the NFL, Mike, How well can you change directions? How fast can you get your body from one direction to another? And when you can cut like this guy, I'm not sure how you guard him.
From the gun here on third down, it's Stroud. To the left side, and caught by Schultz. 15-yard pickup there. First down for Houston.
I know, I'm biased. But listen, you can't convince me, Mike, that there's a better option on the field, especially when you got a guy like this, than on third down or critical moments. That's where the ball needs to go. The size, the speed, the matchup problems that he creates. If I was in a critical situation, there is no doubt where I'm going with the ball.
After the catch, he gets that forward for a gain of 9.
The receiver thought he had a nice soft spot in that zone coverage, and he settles down to give a nice target to the quarterback. But the defense had eyes on him the entire time. Secure rally tackle prevents that from turning into a big play.
Stroud going to set up to throw. A short throw pulled in by Schultz. And they'll pick up the first down, a gain of about 4.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. But really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do.
Oh, they're on him in a flash, and he's lost the football. But he'll gather it back in.
And man, does he dodge a bullet right there, Mike, on that sack. He's fortunate. That ball bounced right back to him. He's able to recover it and keep possession for his team.
Here's Stroud. That's caught right side, the tight end Schultz. Well, that helps. It's going to be a much more manageable third down, getting some good yardage on that second down play.
After that first down sack, I think we both kind of looked at each other and said, all right, well, there goes this drive. But a really nice job there in the passing game on second down. That big chunk brings them from second and long to now at least third and manageable.
He's in. Touchdown, Texans. Greg, nothing changed at halftime. They come right out to start this third quarter and pick up where they left off.
Well, I think this defensive coordinator is going to think back to his halftime speech, Mike, because whatever adjustments he thought they made, it obviously didn't resonate. What we saw happen in the first half, they picked right back up here to start the third quarter, and at this point, the offense has hit its stride, and they continue to pull away.
Now Fairbairn for the extra point. He's got it. And the Texans are able to extend out to a 24-0 lead. And so after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn to kick it off. Now return coming from the 7. Oh, yeah. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. Out comes the Tennessee offense. They get set to see what they can do. Greg, simply put, they've been off their game right from the jump.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just the way the game goes, and you can't really put your finger on it, but you feel good coming out of the week of practice. You feel really good about your game plan, and then once the ball's kicked off, nothing seems to work, and it's very frustrating because you can look great one week, and then the next week be completely taken out of your game.
Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw is Rudolph. Throwing left side there, but it is incomplete. Calvin Ridley was the intended receiver, and that will lead to a second down.
It's always a risky decision anytime a quarterback tries to force the ball, especially into those tightly contested areas. Not a lot of daylight, not a lot of room for error. In this case, it just falls simply as an incomplete. But as this game unfolds, better decisions are going to lead to better results.
Quickly, he gets it out to his right. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5.
In a lot of offenses, Mike, these quick passes to the wide receivers really fall under the run category. Of course, they're going to go down as a forward pass, but to a lot of offensive coordinators in the league, it's a lot easier to pick up first and second down yardage on these quicks than it is to turn around and hand it off to your running back and count on blocking everybody.
That's caught. It's Westbrook Akine. Call it a gain of 13. That's good for a Titan first down. So we are through 3. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Now Rudolph. Open man, he's got Boyd. And they'll get about 4 here as he is taken down.
So they have these rules for the receivers, Mike. They call them green grass rules. And the idea is if you're running across the field and you're looking at the quarterback, you're going to stay on the run. If you're not looking at the quarterback, that tells him, I'm going to sit in this soft zone. I'm going to what they call punch and pivot and stop. And that tells the quarterback to put the ball on your
That's over the middle and intercepted. That's the linebacker, Azeez Al-Shire.
So all game, we've seen him take the approach as just being a game manager. But one thing you have to do if that's the case is you have to protect the ball. You can't turn the ball over, especially if you're struggling to push the ball downfield. He got a little reckless that time, and the defense made him pay.
The Texans offense and C.J. Stroud ready to get to work once more. Eddie has been in control of this offense. Want to run you through some of the action from earlier on. You've got the 2 touchdown passes, over 200 passing yards. He has been excellent all game long. They'll go 3 tight ends here on 1st and 10. Man acquired by trade in the offseason, it's Joe Mixon. And that'll be good for about a half dozen. It'll set up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 46-yard line.
They'll go right back to Mixon. And that won't get a whole lot. Maybe a yard, but that's it. They'll come up to 3rd and 3. Stroud to throw. He's got his tight end. It's Schultz. And he's going to pick up the 1st down. He knew where that marker was and made sure he got beyond it.
This is a great example of where just having situational awareness is so critical in the huddle. When every one of those receivers, Mike, breaks the huddle and go line up, they've got to know where that 1st down marker is. If your route calls, get by it, secure the catch, and bring up a fresh set of downs.
Here's a give running left with Mixon. He'll work his way ahead for a gain of about 4.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the Titans' 36-yard line.
So, 2 minutes to play here in the second half. We'll come back and finish this one off. After this, here's a 2nd and 6. They'll put one of the tight ends in motion. Again, they'll give it to Mixon. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line.
Here's a case of an offense just piling on. You're really imposing your will on the defense. Everyone in the stadium knows you're going to run it. The defense knows it, you know it. And no matter what they do, they have no answers whatsoever.
Here's Mixon. Well, they weren't going to get him the second time with the same back. Defense all over that one. They stop him for no gain.
Mike, I have to be honest. When offenses come up with run play designs, blocking the corner is not really a big priority. But in this case, great job not only forcing it on the outside, but defeating the block, coming up and making the tackle, and keeping it to no gain.
Second down, and here's a run, and here's Mixon. He's taken down just shy of the 10.
So when you're evaluating the impact of a team's run game, Mike, I think it's important at the end of the game to look back and say, okay, how many yards did they run for? But more importantly, when did those yards come? Did I run for those yards in the fourth quarter, which typically means I had to lead? That's the sign of a successful run game, as opposed to getting a lot of meaningless yards early in the game.
So it's a win for the visiting Texans. They were the aggressors from the start, able to dictate the pace of play. In the end, they come away with the victory. So that'll just about do it for Greg Olson and our entire team. I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. So long, everybody.